Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention please as we go through the following safety instructions. Thank you and enjoy your flight.
The Nigerian aviation and aerospace development advancements in the season of renewed hope, under the leadership of Honorable Minister Festus Keyamo, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, SAN.
It's okay, we came to office. But the first 1 week in office, something that has not been done for 25 years of our democracy or thereabouts, which is commence the second runway in Abuja. There were problems of litigation, problems of people who are on the land, they didn't want to leave. In 2 weeks after I entered office, I was able to resolve that issue with the help of one or two of my colleague ministers, and we moved to site.
The minister is very, very patriotic. He's very, very passionate about improvement in the aviation sector.
It's 1 year and counting in the renewed hope agenda. The government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR has left no one in doubt that change is necessary for development. From the presidential inauguration to the appointment and screening of ministers, it has become evident that this government, riding on the renewed hope mantra, is committed to leading a greater Nigeria by giving hope to the country and her people. According to historical writings, Nigeria experienced a remarkable and memorable event, which is seen as the bedrock of our current aviation story. On November 1, 1925, 3 de Havilland DH-9A aircraft owned by the Royal Air Force RAF successfully landed in Nigeria for the first time. Today, Nigeria has 32 airports and counting. When President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR appointed Mr. Festus Keyamo, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, as Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, some stakeholders expressed concern, but it turned out that the experience of the Senior Advocate was the tonic actually needed to transform the ministry and indeed the aviation sector.
Well, thank you very much. I think the first thing you do when you get an assignment is to get your job description correctly. And once you get your job description correctly, you must develop an immediate path to achieve your vision in respect of the assignments that you have been given. You cannot, they said who fails to plan, plans to fail. So the first thing is to have a clear plan. And once you have the clear plan, you must identify those factors that will aid you, that will assist you to achieve your objectives. And one of those factors would mean changing personnel to key into your vision, then you may have to do so.
True to type, the Honorable Minister set to work as a respected Senior Advocate of Nigeria.
I said, one, first of all, is that we have to develop our infrastructure. Right? Because our infrastructure all over the country, as you know, the infrastructure, they do not match the size of the country, the ambition of this country, the economy, the kind of people we have in this country. So we have to develop our infrastructure. The second one is that we also have to develop a human capacity within the industry. And of course, I also discovered that local operators over the years, they have not perhaps gotten the kind of support, the maximum support that they need. Of course, other governments have tried their best, but I thought we should take it to a new height and make it as part of our clear objective that we need to support them, not to put it like in the back burner.
Leading the civil servants in the ministry is a gentleman par excellence. are professional to the core. The permanent secretary, Dr. Emmanuel Meribole, himself an astute professional and a stickler to details.
The ministry is connecting people, is connecting commerce and industry, it's also connecting governance. And what do I mean by this? For you to move from point A to point B in an efficient manner, looking at timeliness and safety-wise, aviation is the place to go. To carry goods from one place to the other is aviation.
The Federal Civil Service Strategy and Implementation Plan 2021 to 2025, as laid down by the head of the Civil Service of the Federation, is well implemented here.
As civil servants, we have what we call a plan. So if you look at it from that angle, my main work is to ensure that Ministry of Aviation and Aerospace Development aligns with whatever the office of the head of the Civil Service of the Federation is doing.
The permanent secretary says transparency and accountability are not negotiable.
We bring in the real issues in the service to bear accountability. We want to make sure we do things the right way.
To achieve the expected goals, the Honorable Minister, after briefing from agencies, made some changes to actualize the renewed hope agenda of Mr. President.
In the next few months, Nigerians will be very proud of what we have done. We are operating as silently as we can until we open up what we have done.
Some international air passengers who just arrived Nigeria spoke with us on the way forward.
I just arrived from Addis Ababa and I see a very impressive atmosphere here. Great changes, more light, better space, and all this equipment. I hope this will continue and we get better and better as Nigerians. We are very proud of what is happening and this is who we are.
Flying from Bombay. I was here last in September 23 and for this visit I found the immigration was faster, quicker than before.
And so, to get things right, Mr. Festus Keyamo, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, unveiled his 5-point agenda to chart the way forward for the Ministry of Aviation and Aerospace Development and to ensure proper advocacy for Nigerians.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has taught all of us what it means to be a visionary leader. And we're all learning at his feet. We're all learning at his feet. He laid a path clearly for himself from when he performed exceptionally well in Lagos State. And God guided him all the way to become president of this country with focused and visionary leadership. So that's it. So it has to be courage, visionary leadership, and determination to achieve results.
As a true patriot and a committed human rights activist, Mr. Festus Keyamo, SAN, expressed concern that some people evade toll gates and yet expect infrastructure upgrades. Again, he advocated on behalf of Nigerians.
When we came to office, we met a tradition on the ground where at the end of the year, all manners of VIPs would approach us for what they call complimentary ticket or complimentary e-tags or complimentary stickers, whereby you see them coming into the airports, our airports nationwide. They don't pay the access fees. They don't pay for parking. They don't pay for essential services at the airports. And they are VIPs. And I told myself and my team, I said, not under my watch. It will not happen. If this tradition had been existing for years, I will not allow it to happen. Because it is inconceivable that in our country, it is the VIPs that don't pay for services, but it is the poor men that pay for services. The VIPs who are supposed to have money don't pay for services, but they compel poor men to pay for services. And I said, no. So I got my team together. I said, we need the backing of council to compel everybody. In fact, guess what? Our memo says, with the exception of the president and the vice president, the president overruled me. He said he and the vice president will pay. He said everybody.
The Ministry of Aviation has 7 agencies under her supervision. They are the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria, FAN, Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority, NCAA, Nigeria Safety Investigation Bureau, NSIB, Nigeria Airspace Management Agency, NAMA, Nigerian Meteorological Agency, NIMET, Nigerian College of Aviation Technology, NCAT, and Africa Aviation and Aerospace University, AAAU. The Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria, FAN, is a public service organization statutorily charged to manage all commercial airports in Nigeria and provide service to passengers and cargo airlines. Under the supervision of Honorable Minister Festus Keyamo, SAN, FAN is better managed.
So if you connect the agenda of Mr. President and the Honorable Minister, you will see that FAN plays an extremely critical role, in fact, more than none, along with the NCAA. Providing modern and upgraded infrastructure is a critical element that we're looking at. You would know that an infrastructure fund was recently set up a couple of weeks ago, and of course aviation was part of that. Mr. President, of course with the help of the Honorable Minister, Mr. Keyamo, recognizes the length and the activities that are required to move the aviation sector forward. As such, we have come up for consideration because they understand the importance of aviation to global trade, the importance of aviation to driving AFTA, which is the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement. And when I speak to folks, it's not just so much as operating an airline or air transport, but really around how do we make sure that aviation continues to play a critical role as it comes to exports, as it comes to trade facilitation, and really how we can stay connected.
All over the world, governments support aviation, either by ease of doing business or even getting finance houses to finance them. We are getting there now. Like I said, the Honorable Minister is traveling all over the place trying to get this listing sorted out in order to give comfort to the lessors. And the minister is willing to do that, has been engaging. I've been engaging all these people.
They felt airpiece was orphan. They were orphans and they don't have the backing of the government. All over the world, they just want to see that government is backing a cause. That's all they want to see. They don't want to see that it's one private airline that is just struggling to survive. The presence of the minister in London was one of the issues that did the trick. And they said, oh, the minister is here personally, then we can listen to you. This same gesture will be extended to everybody. It's one of my KPIs, support for private airlines. It's a KPI.
It will happen, Nigerians will celebrate, because then the capacity of the average Nigerian airline will be built, it becomes strong. So Nigerians should be hopeful. The brighter day is coming.
We have seen a lot of changes which has affected us positively, especially here in aero contractors. The most notable one is the domestication of Cape Town Convention, which the minister has taken it personally to ensure that lessors get their assets taken back as when they need them.
He's working on the what we call bilateral air service agreements. We have so many. What it means is that as you are coming into the country with your own aircraft and earning foreign exchange, ours can also go to your own and earn foreign exchange. So it's encouraging as many Nigerian carriers to go to other countries in line with the BASA we have agreed. Where there are issues with BASA, he's reviewing them. And of course, these are what you call incubation stages. When a woman is pregnant, most times nobody knows until you hear the cry of the child. So we are passing through an incubation period. Given 1 year, after 1 year, we see the results in the aviation sector.
So with the ministry showing that, look, we are very, very extremely concerned about safety. It will cascade to the agencies, it will cascade to the airlines, it will cascade to service providers. Now, coming about infrastructure, Of course, we have seen recently the upgrades that in the airports that we have seen.
I think that we still have a bit of a way to go. But what is comforting is that we are moving in the right direction, and that is important. Yes, are we where we should be? No, we are far from where we should be in terms of aviation infrastructure. But are we moving in the right direction? Certainly, yes.
The drum signal for renewed hope reverberates even now. And 1 year and counting, the airwaves are getting clearer.
It's our role to also make sure that whatever it is that we do, we're leaving a system, we're leaving infrastructure that lasts beyond us and also for the generations to come.
Because I have to supervise the regulators, they have to keep strictly to the standards that are required by regulations and law to ensure that there's safety in the industry.
If them delay your luggage, call that number. Make una no dey fight or destroy property for we airport.
We are NCAA, we protect your rights. 0905029506.
The Consumer Protection Department of Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority protects your rights.
The minister has been supportive in whatever we're doing, and he has of course encouraged us in making sure that certifications are done and are done as at when due, and we must follow due process. However, even though there's no cutting corners, we must follow due process in getting these certificates. So we've gotten a lot of encouragement from the Honorable Minister, and we know we're going to get more encouragement from him. President's presidential priorities is enhanced infrastructure and transportation as enablers of growth. So we are all keen into it, that what he has done, keyed into what our Honorable Minister's 5 key point agenda, we are following suit, and we should get there.
And yes, stakeholders agree that there can be no development where there is no safety. And that's the mandate of the Nigerian Safety Investigation Bureau, NSIB.
I commend the minister. He's very forward-thinking. His approach to at least my agency has been very hands-off. He's given me total independence here, and I just go to him for advice and support when I need it. And he's been with me, all the way since I got appointed here in December. Under this administration, he's we've seen significant improvement in infrastructural development as well in the aviation ministry. His policy reforms, resource allocation, and collaborative efforts across all the various sectors, are bearing fruit right now, as evidenced by even Airpeace returning to London earlier this year, and the recent announcement of Emirates coming back to Nigeria. For the public that don't know, the second runway is being built at Abuja Airport right now. Talking about power, I know he's been working on PPP projects to improve the power at the airports. I know travelers have seen great improvement in the services at our airports here as well, and a more responsive regulator, that's the NCAA, in tackling issues with the airlines. I'm very optimistic that Nigerians and the world as a whole will see and will benefit from these concerted efforts of the minister and his team, by and large, i.e. the NSIB and all of the agencies under the Ministry of Aviation, they're going to see the sustained improvement in the aviation sector and transport sector as a whole. And hopefully we can build on these successes this year. I can only say that, 2 years down the line, the Nigerian aviation industry and transport as a whole will be totally different from what was met here in 2023.
The fundamental objective of NSIB is to improve transportation safety.
We enhance transport safety by conducting impartial investigations into accidents and incidents with the ultimate goal of identifying the root causes, and we make safety recommendations thereafter. Our investigations are driven by a commitment to uncover the truth, unhindered by external influences or biases. We approach each case with professionalism, leveraging on the expertise of our highly trained personnel and support staff here at the NSIB, using our state-of-the-art resources and techniques here. Of course, again, I must add that the NSIB's aim is not to apportion blame to anybody. So we just want to find out the causes and make recommendations and the contributory factors to all these incidents and accidents.
To provide safe, efficient, effective, and economic air navigation services, we have the Nigerian Airspace Management Agency, NAMA.
The role of the agency is to provide safe, efficient, effective, expeditious, reliable, and economic air navigation services to all airspace users. We have identified the renewed whole agenda of Mr. President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. We have adopted and internalized the 8-point priority areas of Mr. President that were articulated to enhance socio-economic development of Nigeria. Having said that, we also adopted, similarly, the 5 points agenda, which was anchored on a Renew Hope agenda into our mission, vision, procedures, and processes, so that we key in. It's all about safety.
A recent report indicated that pilots of international airlines that operate in Nigeria have confirmed at different fora that the Nigerian weather forecast is accurate, timely, and reliable. This is a testament that the Nigerian Meteorological Agency, NIMET, one of the government parastatals under the Ministry of Aviation and Aerospace Development, is providing consistent, timely, and accurate weather information for the aviation sector.
Nigerian Meteorological Agency advises the government in all aspects of meteorology. And that means, that in simple terms, means we observe, monitor the atmosphere, collect data, analyze it, and generate forecasts. The Honorable Minister has given us a free leeway to be able to ensure that the science of meteorology is well taken care of and complied with. So the Honorable Minister is also trying to ensure that the cost recovery, yes, because we don't, we provide services, in return, we recover costs. So the Honorable Minister is leading in that direction to also ensure not just the aviation sector, but other sectors like the Ministry of Blue Economy. We are working very hard in solidarity with the Ministry of Blue Economy, and the Honorable Minister is leading the way to ensure that we recover costs. If we are able to recover costs from the blue economy, that's the NIMASA, NPA, it is really going to give us a huge boost in improving what we do.
In the aviation business, constant and consistent education is not negotiable. With changes in technology and aerospace development, the establishment of specialized educational institutions is certainly the way to go for aviation globally. One such institution in Nigeria is the Nigerian College of Aviation Technology, NCAT. The college, with professional experience of over 5 decades of providing human resources development in the aviation industry across Africa, is certainly well on its way to becoming a reputable global provider of aviation training. And Honorable Minister Festus Keyamo SAN is giving all the needed support.
The Honorable Minister is a very simple person. I've related with him, and the way he takes the Ministry of Aviation is taking it to greater heights. And we have to work in accordance with what he has planned for us, the mission he has, the vision he has, so that he can equally meet the presidential requirements, which is to train people for the markets, aviation markets, and be the best, even in Africa. He is working tirelessly towards such achievement. And we that are supporters, we have to work along with him in that regard. UNCAT is meant to train aviation professionals, piloting, aircraft engineering, air traffic controllers, and so on. The system, if most of the old pilots, they all went through UNCAT, and they are doing well.
Another aviation institution blazing the trail in Nigeria is the African Aviation and Aerospace University, AAAU. This is the first Pan-African University of Aviation, Aerospace and Environmental Science, established to fill the gap in research and development of aviation and aerospace industry, as well as manpower shortages in Africa's aviation industry.
The mandate is largely to fill in the gap in human capacity development, which has largely fit into the main KPIs of the Honorable Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development. This university has commenced with 2 undergraduate programs. We have a BSc Aviation Management and we have a BSc Meteorology. And also, one of the unique features of the university is the Nigerian Universities Commission gave us the approval to commence also the postgraduate school. So we have started currently with MSc Aviation Management, MSc Air Safety Management, and also MSc Meteorology, with about 4 other specializations. So the main cardinal of this institution is here largely to address the issue of manpower gap, the human resource gap in the aviation sector, academically.
Our elders say, a chick that will grow into a cock can be spotted the very day it hatches. It is clear that 1 year and counting, the Renewed Hope agenda under the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, is sporting signs of greatness. And in the aviation sector, under the supervision of Honorable Minister Festus Keyamo SAN, hope is indeed rising.
Nigerians will be very proud of what the aviation sector will become before we leave office. That I can assure you. Mark this word today. Mark it somewhere. Come back to me at the end of the race.
The time to embrace the Renewed Hope agenda like never before is now. The dialogue must be to chart the course for every Nigerian to look beyond religious and party affiliation and come together as one people with one song in one voice. That has been The Aviators, our Nigerian story, as part of the series of documentaries to mark the 1 year in office of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR. It's a production of the Federal Ministry of Aviation and Aerospace Development and all aviation agencies under her. Thank you for joining us, and bye for now.
Flight 022, maintain approach. You're clear for runway 27.